Hey guys, welcome to RAMZPAUL Live. It is, what is it? Wednesday, Wednesday, uh, March 18th. And man, it has been a crazy day. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Again, we're mostly going to be focused on the Iranian war, but if you have other topics, you're feel free to bring them up. I have a couple other things too. We will see if we get to it. Man, everything is kind of going wild. It feels like everything is really escalating, and we'll talk about that because our best little buddies, they just keep escalating it because they don't want peace. They want to have, I think, a world war. They have this weird prophecy. They want the temple built and bring the Antichrist and just crazy shit. And so they're going crazy, and Iran is responding, showing Trump to be a liar. Oh, they're totally destroyed. Everything, they're totally destroyed. And then Iran just follows that up with a big missile attack. So it's just crazy, everything that's going on. And again, guys, thank you so much for watching. And we're live on Rumble, YouTube, and X. Now, I just want to make sure everything is going good on X. So just give me a second. I got to just make sure that X is going good, and then I'll check on my Rumble. Otherwise, oh, great. Oil analysts said they wouldn't be surprised if oil went to $250 a barrel. That would suck. I just saw that on my X here, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Okay, I'm going to pin my X video. So hello, X. It's great to see you. And let me refresh my Rumble, make sure Rumble's working. Yeah, Rumble's working. And thank you. It's good to see Magnum Opus and Scott James and Marcus 52. I know I've met Scott James in real life. We got to get together, Scott. I really appreciate it. Sorry we couldn't hook up the other week, but if you're down here in Arkansas, I'd like to see you again. Hey, the sound sounds good. Yeah, and I'm going to rely on you guys to tell me if the sound is bad. I think I fixed the issue, but I got to go to the people I really trust because I know how the internet is. There's some people will just, just like to have a little fun no matter what it is. No, it's not good. And, so thank you guys for that. And I think we're all set. I think everything's running well. And again, if you want to interact with the show, I've been getting a lot of mad support. It's been really good. Necro and Row House and a lot of people have been supporting. So thank you so much with your tips. If you like what you're seeing, throw a tip my way, ask a question. You could do YouTube SuperChats, Rumble Rant, and there's Powerchats. So you get your choice on how you want to do it. I think on YouTube they take a portion of the SuperChats, and Rumble does too. I don't know how much it is. I forget. Powerchat does too, but it's not as much. But whatever you want to do, that's cool. I do appreciate it. And we will get in here. Well, as you saw with the title of my video, it was Israel escalated. And so what has happened in this war or excursion, as Trump would call it, that's what, going on 19 days now? He thought it'd be 2 days. The one of the things that Trump wanted to do was to try to keep oil prices from going crazy high because he knows that could torpedo his administration. A lot of people, a lot of normies, they don't really follow much news. But if the oil prices go up and they see it at the pump, they're going to be pissed. They're really going to be pissed. So he's trying to do everything he can to keep the oil prices down. And I guess it never occurred to the administration if we did a sneak attack on Israel. It was a sneak attack. We didn't declare war. We were in the middle of negotiations. And I think the Israelis, like they like to do, very little honor with those people. They did a sneak attack and killed their leaders. And now Iran, their attitude is, yeah, well, fuck you all. You double-crossed us twice. A year ago, you attacked us during negotiations. And this year, you attacked us during negotiations. Now you want us to negotiate with you again? Yeah, go fuck yourself. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to close the Strait of Hormuz. How do you like that, fish? That's their position. And Trump never They never considered that, even though everyone that follows geopolitics, like myself, people I watch, they knew Iran would shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Total surprise for Trump. Total surprise that Iran would attack the Gulf states where we have all these bases. Total surprise. And so here we are. And it was a total surprise for them that Iran would stand. They thought, okay, we'll kill the supreme leader, and then all the protesters will come out into the streets. You remember after they murdered the supreme leader, come out into the streets. We got your back. Well, the Iranians came out in the streets, but not against the government. They came out and rallied around their flag because, oopsie, we actually bombed a schoolhouse, an elementary school with, I guess, the girls. They have segregated education, which, by the way, I support. I think that's a good idea. But there was a bunch of girls in like elementary school, what we would call elementary school, and they massacred like 170 of them. Oopsie. And Trump said, that wasn't us. That was Iranians. That's how evil these people are. They bombed their own children. And then it was like, really? And then there's evidence that it was a Tomahawk missile. And he goes, well, I don't know. Maybe they got a Tomahawk missile. Who knows? It's lie after lie after lie. But anyway, so now the Iranian people, they support their country and their leader. And they didn't collapse. And that came as a shock to everyone. So this is where we are now. And hey, I already got a super chat for Necro Dancer. Thank you, Necro, for your great support. I'll get to it in a second. So this is the situation, and it's dragged on. And we even Trump said we didn't understand how many missiles they have, because supposedly for the last 20, 30 years, the Iranians have really focused on drone and missile technology. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate, but I think their drone and missile technology may be the best in the world, including the United States. Seriously, I think they are. Now, they don't have much of an Air Force or Navy, but they look at it different. They're kind of more, they looked at how warfare is changing, and I think they were kind of right. Because we got these big, expensive aircraft carriers that aren't worth shit anymore. They're too scared. Our aircraft carriers are too scared to go near Iran. And the Gerald Ford, it had to go to Crete because they had a laundry fire. I don't know. And it turned out to be quite serious, so they had to go to port. Abraham Lincoln's hiding around Oman. They don't want to even get close to Iran. No one wants to open the Strait of Hormuz. So I don't know. It looks like the Iranian strategy is working. Anyway, they built thousands of these missiles, including the hypersonic missiles, which we haven't figured out. Russia and China has, and Iran has. I think that's it. And they buried these missiles like 500 meters underground, huge, in these huge cave complexes, like dwarves. They're like dwarves. And they shoot out from under the ground. So we really can't attack them. And, Trump claimed, oh, we wiped out all their missile launcher capabilities. Oh, really? Then how come just last night Israel got leveled and the oil fields got leveled? We'll talk about that. Huge attack. How did that happen, Trump, if everything's destroyed? Either Trump has bad information or he's a liar. He's probably both. So everything's just looking bad here. So Iran is in that position. They're not in a mood to negotiate. So anyway, with the war going on, I haven't lost my train of thought. Even though I'm older, my neurons are still working. I was talking about the oil prices. And so there was Trump was like, okay, let's not attack their oil facilities. I know Iran has a lot of oil, because God forbid they attack like Saudi oil or Kuwait, then we'd be fucked. So let's not do that. And everyone kind of agreed with that. Even Iran was, okay, we'll not, because it's not in their interest to attack oil facilities either. So we had a gentleman's agreement. And guess who broke that agreement? Yes, God's all-stars, the chosen. They went ahead the other day and they attacked Iran's largest natural gas producer, I think it was, fields. And this is after they attacked the oil refineries right next to Tehran. Remember that? And a huge black clouds caused black rain, oil everywhere. It looked like hell. That was the Israelis. And supposedly Trump was pissed off about it. And Netanyahu, okay, we won't do that anymore. We won't do that anymore. They're like, bitch, we did it again. And Iran said, hey, if you fuck with us again and attack our oil facilities for natural gas, we're going to fuck you guys up. And Trump's like, oh, okay. But Netanyahu, assuming he's still alive, they probably said okay too, but their word, you can't ever trust them. They attacked. And so Iran made good. Iran made good on their promise, and then they attacked Saudi fields and Kuwait and Qatar. It's a real mess now, and we could be at probably one of the more serious energy crises in the last, I don't know, 40, 50 years. In 1973, we had a big one with the oil embargo, but that was a little bit different. This is actually attacking the infrastructure, so this could be a lot more serious. The Strait of Hormuz is closed, and now because the Israelis initially attacked the oil facilities in Iran, Iran's responded last night with a massive attack with supposedly the missiles that Trump said they don't have anymore. They just totally wiped out a lot of these facilities. And oh, by the way, where's American anti-defense? Where's our air defense? Where are the Patriots? Ooh, USA, USA. Yeah, they're nowhere to be gone. There's no one there. And we're out or they're not working. And so the Gulf states are pissed. It's like you just feel like a panic going on. And so that is the situation now, how it's really escalated. And okay, I'm going to get right away before I miss it. Necrodancer, shotgun bird, shot anti-drone weapon. Yeah, shotguns have actually been effective with small drones on the Russians and the Ukrainians. They use shotguns. Also, peasant Europeans danced a lot. White people can naturally have rhythm. History is a lie. Yeah, of course. White people have very sophisticated dancing, not just shaking their ass like a monkey in heat. White people actually can do historically, that's the way it is. So, yeah, I'm not against white people and what they can do. All right, let's see here. Good to see all you guys here. All right, we'll start going through everything. The big thing is Joe Kent, and he was with the National Security Intelligence under Tulsi Gabbard, and he resigned because he said, I can't be part of this war. Iran was not about to attack us. That was a lie. That was a lie told by Israel. And Israel, they have influence and control over our government, which is 100% true. And that started all the, he can't say that. Oh no, why must we suffer so? And so they're going to try to attack him and destroy him now. But he was on Tucker. And we're going to watch a couple clips. I encourage you guys to watch the whole broadcast. I haven't yet. I haven't had time. I've seen a couple of clips. I'm going to watch it later, probably maybe after the show tonight or tomorrow. I recommend that you guys do that too. So let's watch a couple clips together, and then we'll see what Tucker here had to say here.
And then, Charlie Kirk is killed publicly in a very horrific way. And we're not really even allowed to look into that at all. And Charlie Kirk was one of President Trump's closest advisors. And he also advocated heavily against a war with Iran.
Yeah, I never knew how influential Charlie Kirk was and how important he was. And he was really moving in our direction. And Trump really trusted him. And Charlie Kirk got really frustrated with the Israeli and Jewish donors that were trying to pull his donations unless he advocated Israel first, and they were threatening him. And yeah, they ended up assassinating. I'm not saying they did that, but that's the timeline. But he had a connection, kind of like Laura Loomer has now, who's batshit insane. I mean, literally batshit insane. She's supposedly, I read, her father put her in a mental asylum, and she can't own a gun because of that. And if you guys ever followed the lore of like the alt-right in 2015, 16, 17, she was one of the wacky characters like Matt Heimbach, Richard Spencer. I mean, I'm not saying they're all wacky, but it was a colorful crew, and she was in there. And now Trump is like calling her. This is how fucked up things are. But it used to be Charlie Kirk was able to talk sense into Trump and say, hey, this is what younger men, younger generation, we don't want all these wars. But sadly, he was assassinated. And it looks like he was replaced with Laura Loomer.
He was in the Oval Office in the lead up to the 12-day war. I wasn't particularly close with Charlie. He was very gracious to me when I was running for Congress, very, very supportive. So we knew each other. And the last time I saw Charlie Kirk on this earth was in June in the West Wing in the stairway. And I said hi to him, and he looked me in the eye, and he said very loudly, and it's a small, you've been in the West Wing, it's small, it's a tight space. And he said, "Joe, stop us from getting into a war with Iran," very loudly.
He was single-minded.
And he walked off, and he went, I believe, into the Oval. So when one of President Trump's closest advisors, who is vocally advocating for us to not go to war with Iran and for us to rethink at least our relationship with the Israelis, and then he's suddenly publicly assassinated, and we're not allowed to ask any questions about that. It's a data point. It's a data point that we need to look into.
What do you mean when you say we're not allowed to ask any questions about that?
We've been told that this individual, Robinson, is a lone gunman, and maybe he is. But the investigation that I was a part of, the National Counterterrorism Center was a part of, we were stopped from continuing to investigate.
Now that's weird. So they were told to stop to investigate Charlie Kirk. And again, I'm not big on the whole conspiracy theory, but that is weird.
The FBI will say that they stopped that because they wanted to have turn everything over to the Utah state authorities. Everything's going to trial. It's very, very sensitive. But there was still a lot for us to look into that I can't really get into. But there was still linkage for us to investigate that we needed to run down. And I'm not making any conclusions. I'm not saying
no, I don't think you are.
Because of this happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's unanswered questions. We know the pressure because of the text messages that have been made public, that Charlie was under a lot of pressure from a lot of pro-Israel donors. And again, we know Charlie was advocating to President Trump against this war with Iran.
Yeah, so that was the thing. And remember, Charlie, like Megyn Kelly and even Tucker, a lot of these people were initially very pro-Israel, but then they saw the threats, the bribery, the bullying, unless you put Israel first. They started like, holy crap, what's happening? All these people we hated, looks like they were right. And so that was an interesting clip from that. And let's see right here. And we got just a couple clips I want to go over real quick because they just came out. And again, I encourage you guys to watch the whole thing when it's released on Tucker's X. So check that out. And we'll just watch another clip here because I think this is important.
I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. How did you...
And remember, this is a guy in charge of intelligence. So he had all the information that we don't. This isn't like... You could say, I've said this, that Iran wasn't a threat to us. I think they would have rather been friendly with us. They didn't have an issue with us, except for our support for Israel. But even then, they'd work around that. But, you can say, well, what do you know, RAMZPAUL? You don't know all the secret stuff. These guys, they know the secret stuff, right? And I trust President Trump. If we had information, they were about to attack us. Well, this guy was ahead of the intelligence. So he has seen this.
Reach that conclusion.
I think this is key. I mean, this would be more challenging to explain had the Secretary of State, the President, and the Speaker of the House not come out and said that we conducted this attack at this time because the Israelis were about to do so.
That's right. Rubio said that. President Trump said that, and the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, said that we had an attack, but the Israelis attacked first, and they, I guess, can pull us along. Now, if I was the president, I say, no, Israel, we fund your little ethno state. If you do this, fuck off. We're no longer funding you. You're on your own. But we're, Trump's Netanyahu's little bitch. So, well, I guess we have to go along if they said they're going to attack.
So that takes away the argument that there was an imminent threat, as in Iran was planning to attack us immediately. That just simply did not exist.
May I ask you to pause? Sure. And so I've heard people say that, and this just happened, but history has a way of getting rewritten in real time. And then you look back 10 or 15, 20, 25 years later. And no one seems to understand the things that you saw because they've been eliminated.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to stop and say, here's what we actually know. So I'd like now, if we could, just to play one of the statements that you alluded to, and that's from Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State. And this was shortly after this war commenced. And he was
It's not a war, it's an excursion.
explaining in a, as is his habit, in a thoughtful, precise way. Why? Here's Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
And then Rubio, by the way, will watch this, but afterwards, I never said that. I never said that. I'm like, we have it on video. Well, I don't know.
So the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
So again, Israel told us they didn't give a fuck what we were doing with negotiations. They were going to attack. And if a strong president will say, well, if you're attacking, you're on your own. Fuck you. You're supposed to be our ally. Bitch, we give you all your military hardware. Bitch, we make it possible that you guys have free healthcare, right? So what the fuck are you guys doing? We got to understand this relationship. We are funding you. You need to follow what we say if we're funding you. But that's not the way it is. They control our politicians. So we were like, well, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? They're going to attack, and we got to also join in the attack. Otherwise, Iran will attack our bases. I mean, what can we do?
Okay, so that is his almost contemporaneous explanation, and it's not offhand. He reasons it out. He explains there's a logic chain there, and he says, we knew not that Iran was going to attack. He did not say that.
Right.
He said we knew that Israel was going to attack Iran, and in retaliation for those attacks by Israel against Iran, Iran might attack American forces. So the imminent threat that the Secretary of State is describing is not from Iran, it's from Israel.
Exactly. And I think this speaks to the broader issue.
And President Trump said the same thing, and so did Mike Johnson, by the way.
Who is in charge of our policy in the Middle East? Who is in charge of when we decide to go to war or not? In this case, with what the secretary described, and later on the president, later on the Speaker of the House, and the way the events played out, the Israelis drove the decision to take this action, which we knew would set off a series of events.
And I would argue they're still driving it with the Israeli attack on the Iranian natural gas fields, the largest in the world, or one of the largest, after Trump said he doesn't want them to do that, after they attack Iran's oil refineries. Israel's attitude is, yeah, fuck off. We're going to do what you want, bitch, and you better do what we say because we own your politicians. That's what it comes down to. I'm just being blunt. That's where it is right now.
Meaning the Iranians would retaliate. Now, I think there's a potential there where we could have done several different things. We could have simply said to the Israelis, no, you will not. And if you do, then we will take something away from you. I think that it's fine that we offer defense.
Oh, man. Oh, no, it's another Holocaust. How can you take something away from us? That's what they would have said.
To Israel. But when we're providing the means for their defense, we get to dictate the terms of when they go on the offensive. Otherwise, they stand to lose that relationship. And
you would think, but it's a weird relationship. It's a parasite relationship. They control our politicians through donations, through money, through media control, Hollywood control. They will call anyone a neo-Nazi. Really, Mark Levin has called this guy a neo-Nazi, Megyn Kelly a neo-Nazi, Tucker Carlson. Everyone's a neo-Nazi unless you support Israel. Without question, even if Israel wants to engage in genocide, you have to support it or you're a neo-Nazi. No, you're a Jew hater. That's how they frame it. And politicians are scared of that, and they like their money they get from this lobby. So here we are. We don't control the country anymore. We Americans do not have control over our government. We're occupied. We are. We have no choice in the matter. None. It's done on the primary basis. Like if you want to run, let's say Steve Womack is my representative in Northwest Arkansas. No fucking way anyone that had a question about Israel, say maybe we shouldn't fund Israel, would go through the vetting process to be the Republican nominee. They gatekeep that. Same with the Democrats. So it's not like the Democrats are opposed to this war. I mean, they're opposed to Trump, but they're not opposed to the war because, again, they're still controlled by Israel too. I mean, it's a crisis. This is really the crisis we have right now, where we have this little country of 9 million people the size of New Jersey literally running the United States. And I would also there argue not only with money and media influence in Hollywood and finance, but also through blackmail material, probably through Epstein. And the reason Trump didn't want to release all of the Epstein files, they said national security, is because Israel was fucking blackmailing our people to get what they want. Trump did not want that to get out. And one of the reasons the Epstein war, but I really believe that's what happened.
The Israelis felt emboldened that no matter what they did, no matter what situation they put us in, that they could go ahead and take this action, and we would just have to react.
I cannot.
So, I mean, just outrageous, but that is what's happening there too. So watch the interview. Obviously, he is a very brave thing for him to do. And supposedly all these Israeli lobby and Zionists and so forth are all getting together, I'm sure the ADL, and determining how to attack him and destroy the man. They're having Zoom calls right now, I'm sure, with the ADL and Ovane, and how can we destroy this man for speaking out against the war. All right, let's just take a look at one more. And did I accidentally close that? Hang on, let me bring this up here. If my producer can bring up the next clip. Yeah, Bobby, can you bring that up? I'm going to be like Sticks. I'm going to have imaginary friends. I'm going to have an imaginary producer. Hey, Bobby, thank you. All right, here we go.
The people who are coming after me, I believe that the internet is like 25% real. I think there's a lot of bots. There's a lot of people who got delivered a talking point and they're going to get a paycheck for it.
I've noticed.
Or they just, they want the adoration. So I just don't take most of it seriously. And again, look, I know there's some of my former colleagues, people who I do like, who have had to come after me. And I understand that too. Like, I get it. Like, they're still there. They've got to discredit
Tulsi Gabbard.
Everything I'm saying right now. They're watching, taking notes. So I'm not bitter about that. I literally just want to focus on the task at hand, and the task at hand is stopping us from getting deeper into this quagmire.
Yeah, that's what we're in right now. Trump is like an LBJ, but worse, because he's, I think, crazy. This is what happened with Lyndon Johnson. He kept escalating in Vietnam. He didn't know how to get out of it because he didn't want to lose face. And this is what happened.
Because again, like, just looking back on my experiences in Iraq, I don't feel like this happened. There wasn't the ability to, there wasn't this platform. There wasn't, the free independent media.
And Iraq was different because Iraq, even though it was a gigantic fuck up at the end, even after we took it over because it split apart, you had the refugee crisis, you had all these, militias. They didn't become some freedom and democracy or anything like that. Same with Afghanistan. But this is worse because the Iranians are straight out winning. They are on a strategic basis. And we don't know what to do about it.
That existed in any real way that could reach people.
That's right.
And so to me, we have this opportunity. So I'll be bitter and angry later when, I read Twitter and somebody who I used to like says that Joe Kent's a traitor and we're going to fire him tomorrow anyways. We don't have time for that. Like, as you pointed out, major things are happening right now in this war, and the president is facing some very, very challenging decisions.
And again, this guy was in charge of our security intelligence.
So I personally just hope that he and his closest advisors listen and think, and that's the main priority.
So they will go after him, and obviously we knew this was going to happen. The people, Israel, they control our politicians, and they set out the talking points that he needs to be arrested. Breaking, the FBI investigating now resigned director of I love her FBI lead. He's got the fucking craziest eyes. National Counterterrorism Center Joe Kent for leaking classified information. So they're going after him, and they're going after Tucker. They're going after anyone that doesn't support this idea we need to fight wars for Israel to bring back the Antichrist or whatever the fuck they're thinking about. So, yeah, they're going to go after him hard. But he's a lot of integrity. He was a Green Beret. His wife died in Syria. And I think he's, I admire the guy. The guy he's going against very strong and powerful elements, that's for sure. But I admire him for doing that. All right, let me just go through here. Here we go. Necro Dancer, thank you. Slow death, East Germany, AI demoralizing, real shit. These data center program us like never before. However, just become steel. Yeah, I mean, we are kind of like the Soviet Union in the later years. We're an overextended empire. I think there's a lot of problems in this country with the economy, mass immigration. Trump has totally cucked on that. Our inflation's up. We'll talk about that. Things aren't well. Trump has violated his promises in getting involved with all these wars for Israel. Israel's demanding that we get removed the First Amendment, basically. It's this crazy shit right now. And AI, yeah, I think AI can do a lot of good stuff, but one of the things I fucking hate is all the AI slop now on X. Half the videos are fake. They're just AI. And I guess a lot of people, a lot of the postings that you see on like X and other places, they're just AI. They have Grok write something. I've never done that. I tried that once. I never posted. I said, Grok, write a post like RAMZPAUL would write. And it did. And I think a lot of people do that just to be lazy. So I would never do that. So, well, I did use AI for a thumbnail once, but I don't do that anymore. Let's see. $5. Thomas Chard. Interesting to note the Dems aren't protesting about 170 Iranian schoolgirls being eliminated by the U.S. I wonder why. Yeah, this is if you're old like me, you can remember supposedly the Republicans were the hawks and the Democrats. Hey, man, peace. We want peace and love. We hate war. Let's fund schools, not the military. And it was all bullshit. Because again, the Democrats are controlled by the Israeli lobby. And because this war is for Israel, you're not seeing Soros funding mass protests. Like, where's the mass protests in this country? Or the left, like they went out for ICE. Shouldn't they be protesting this? Well, they're not getting any funds for this. This is why. And it is horrible. I mean, so again, the Republicans are totally, for the most part, except for a few exceptions, cucked. But the Democrats are no better. And as I said, I don't know who I can vote for because my new rule is if you're anti-white, meaning you want to replace us with immigration or have anti-white policies like DEI, I'm not going to vote for you. So that's pretty much all the Democrats. And if you get AIPAC money, which means AIPAC, I'm not playing their little game. We're not Israel technically. Yeah, fuck off. All right, just fuck off. I'm not playing that game. It insults our intelligence. You're just doing a little loophole. But if you're taking money from Israel or any other foreign country, but it's primarily Israel, fuck off. I'm not voting for you. So that's like 87% of Congress is receiving AIPAC money. So I probably won't be voting, but why should I? It's not our country anymore. Why should I support the Save America Act like Donald Trump wants? Because, you got to have an ID to vote, which I support, but what difference does it make if all our politicians are pre-vetted by Israel? Well, what's the point? We don't have control over this country. So that is the situation there. All right, let's take a look here. Man, I got a lot of stuff tonight. Yeah, I just got so much content. Content. I have a lot of content.
The White House stated on March 1st of this year that this war was launched and was, quote, a military campaign to eliminate the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, end quote. That's a statement from the White House. Quote, the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime. Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was an imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime?
The intelligence community assessed that Iran maintained the intention to rebuild and to continue to grow their nuclear enrichment capability.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False.
So if you read what Tulsi Gabbard is doing, she is being very clever. She's saying, hey, we just provide information to the president, and it's not our fault. He's a retard. That's basically what she's saying in a nice way. I've read what she wrote. She's never said that I think this is a good idea. We go after Iran. They posed an imminent threat. She was like, hey, we just provide him the information. What can we do? I mean, that's really what she's kind of playing cutesy with this, but that's what she's doing.
This is the worldwide threats hearing where you present to Congress national intelligence, timely, objective, and independent of political considerations. You've stated today that the intelligence community's assessment is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated and that, quote, there had been no efforts since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability.
Yeah, Trump said this. You guys remember that? And this last year, it's not even been a whole year. It was in June of 2025. Trump, in our first attack with Iran, because Israel was getting the shit kicked out of them, we came in and we bombed the facility and we negotiated a ceasefire with Iran, basically. And we dropped bombs. And Trump said, we obliterated it. We obliterated their nuclear program for decades. If you say otherwise, it's fake news. Remember? Because there was a Pentagon report that, well, maybe not. I mean, we don't have any way of knowing. It's deep underground. But no, we did. So the president himself said it was wiped out. And by the way, the supreme leader who Israel murdered, that 86-year-old guy who was going to die anyway, I mean, he had like prostate cancer, stage 4. He was going to die this year anyway. So they killed him. And so we don't have that committee anymore. We have a son who's in his 50s and more radical. Way to go. Way to go. But the old man, he goes, no, we don't want nuclear weapons. He did a fatwa. I think that's what they call it. Fatwa. That was like a decree, like a papal bull where I decree in Shia Islam, we can't make a nuclear weapon. So the Rants position, I think they were honest. They were just developing regular nuclear energy, which all countries are allowed to do. In fact, according to the nuclear treaties, we encourage countries to develop nuclear energy. It's just that you can't enrich uranium to a certain degree where it could be weaponized. But if Iran wants nuclear weapons, which they probably do now, if they're smart, they will try to get them. If they see how devious the United States and Israel are, they'll say, we can't trust these people. We need nukes like North Korea, and we're friendly with North Korea. We'll get the technology from them. And the Iranians are smart. They can get it pretty quick, I think, anyway.
Was it the intelligence community's assessment that nevertheless, despite this obliteration, there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime? Yes or no?
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Okay.
That is up to the
Here's the
president
problem.
based on a volume
No,
of
it is
information
precisely
that he receives.
it is precisely your responsibility to determine what constitutes a threat to the United States. This is the worldwide threats hearing where, as you noted in your opening testimony, quote, you represent the IC's assessment of threats. You are here to represent the IC's assessment of threats. That's a quote from your own opening statement. And so my question is, as you're here to present the IC's assessment of...
By the way, she doesn't want to answer the question, because if you guys want to know what the answer is no. Iran did not pose an imminent nuclear threat. That was a lie. She doesn't want to say that because she still works for Trump.
Threats. Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that, as the White House claimed on March 1st, there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime? Yes or no?
Once again, Senator, the intelligence community has provided the inputs that make up this annual threat assessment.
You won't answer the
It is the
question.
nature of the imminent threat that the president has to make that determination based on a collection and volume
You're here
of
to be
information and
timely.
intelligence that he is provided with.
You're here to be timely, objective, and independent of political considerations.
Exactly what I'm doing.
No, you're evading a question because to provide a candid response to the committee would contradict a statement from the White House. Let me ask you about.
We know that because if there was an imminent threat, right, she would say, yeah, there was an imminent nuclear threat. They're about to nuke us. She didn't say that. And there's obvious, why didn't she say that? Because she knew there wasn't. And so she's trying to play the game. Well, I don't know. We just provide information to the guy. We don't know what the hell he does with it. And he's saying, well, no, you are supposed to be independent and you're supposed to tell the truth to Congress. And but she wouldn't do that at all. So that is it. So let's take a look. I think I have one more clip on this. Hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you. By the way, hello to everyone on YouTube and on Rumble and on X. I appreciate you guys all being here.
Yes.
And you noted in your opening statement, you're here fulfilling a statutory responsibility and that your testimony, quote, represents the IC's assessment of threats,
That's right.
Correct? That opening statement, as submitted to the committee in advance of this hearing, stated that as a result of last summer's airstrikes, quote, Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated, end quote, correct?
That's what Trump said.
That's right.
And is that in fact the assessment of the intelligence community?
Yes.
All right, so it was obliterated.
So the assessment of the intelligence community is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated by last summer's airstrikes.
Yes.
In the opening statement you submitted to the committee last night also stated, quote, there has been no effort since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability, end quote, correct?
That's right.
All right, so we obliterated it. Tulsi Gabbard, who's the head of the intelligence, and there was no effort to rebuild it. According to her, I mean, maybe they were, but this is what she's saying.
And that's the assessment of the intelligence community.
Yes.
The White House stated on March.
So Trump, it had nothing to do with a nuclear threat. It had nothing to do with that because they don't have nukes. They had no plan on getting nukes. This all had to do with Israel. And so all this other stuff was just made up as a pretext because, oh, maybe it doesn't look good that we're the bitch of Israel and our sons and daughters have to die for fucking Israel. That may not look good. So they had to come up with another excuse, and this is what they came up with. This is something that came out that I consider borderline treason Trump was involved in. At first I thought, wait a minute, is this a fucking AI video? And then someone asked Grok, is this really real? And Grok, I hate it when people say, Grok, is that true? But that's what, this is legit. Let's watch this here. This is shocking.
And I just want to point out something that was released about 6 days ago. This is a fundraising email from the president of the United States. And in
So the president has a fundraising email.
this email here, where there's multiple links to donate money, it says, as a national security briefing member, you'll receive my private national security briefings.
What? What the hell? Did I hear that right? So if you donate to Trump a certain amount of money, you get private national security briefings? What?
Director Gabbard or Director Radcliffe, do you think the public should be able to, supporters of the president should be able to pay and receive his private national security briefings? I assume these are briefings Director Ratcliffe, that you provide to the president that is now going to be provided to somebody who makes a
Regardless
donation?
of what that,
So you can buy to get national security updates, private. The rest of us don't get it. But if you pay enough, Trump will share this information with you. This is late stage Rome. This is just so fucking corrupt. It's borderline treason. What? You want national security information? Well, if you give me some money, maybe we'll give it to you.
that, I don't know what that document is, but regardless of what it says, it didn't happen.
Well, no, this is new.
Well,
This is new. So this is Trump's new idea to raise some money. I guess I don't know what for. He's not running again. But hey, give me a lot of money and you can sit in on the national security briefings. You don't have to be vetted.
What I'm telling you is that the Hatch Act would prevent me from an apolitical role from engaging in that. I'm not aware that anything like that happened.
Yeah, this says unfiltered updates.
Unfiltered.
So, Director Gabbard, do you have any comment on whether unfiltered updates of private national security briefings should be made to individuals that donate to the president?
That is just so sketchy, so dirty. What the fuck is Trump thinking? Hey, donate, give me money. And you can get unfiltered security briefings.
I'm not familiar with that document, and
It's been made very public 6 days ago. We'll get you a copy here because I agree with you, Director Ratcliffe, that the Hatch Act should prohibit this type of conduct.
Yeah. I mean, if that is true, and it looks like this is true, Trump should be impeached for that reason alone. That's criminal. The idea that the president would sell off unfiltered security briefings if you pay enough money, that's bizarre that anyone would even think about that. So, but that is what's supposedly happening. I don't get shocked much, but again, when I first saw that, I'm like, is this AI? Because there's no way. Would Trump actually say that? Donate me money, give me money, and I'll show you national security briefings unfiltered. It's like, thanks, Trump. All right. And Trump's net approval rating hits a historic low at minus 15.3%. So Trump is very, very unpopular now at this point, and I don't support Trump based on his betrayal on immigration, is getting us in a war for Israel, his constant fucking lying to us as American people, constant lying, right? Like the Iraq thing, the Iran thing with the schoolgirls. Just be honest. Say, yeah, it was a targeting mistake. Sorry, that's horrible. We didn't mean to do that. Oh, no, it's probably the Iranians that did it. What was the Tomahawk missile? Maybe they got a Tomahawk missile. Quit fucking lying to us, right? You fucking lying fat bastard. Just tell the fucking truth. Don't declare victory. Every fucking day he gets up in the morning and declares victory. And then every fucking day Iran keeps the Strait of Hormuz closed, bombs the shit out of Tel Aviv, and now bombs the shit out of the Gulf states. What the fuck are you saying, President Trump? Then he's saying we need more troops to go, maybe ground troops. Why do we need ground troops if we've won the war? Why isn't the Strait of Hormuz open if we won the war? And they're tired. He said 100% of the military is defeated. Well, if 100% of the military is defeated, how are they closing the Strait of Hormuz, you fucking retard? Right? He's thinking we're a fucking retards to believe it. What are you saying? That your lies don't even make sense. Why don't you just be honest with the American people instead of your, I got to do this marketing man? That's bullshit. It's just insulting to our intelligence. Oh, we got to send more troops over there. We got to send more ground troops. But hey, we won in the first hour because I'm awesome. I'm the best military conqueror in history. I'm like Alexander the Great. And it's just really, really crazy. All right. Now we'll get into the point that that's like all a preamble, right? We got like an epic show tonight. I tell you, epic show. And that's what we do here. All right, let's see here. Did you see that? Yeah, this is Ann Coulter. Did you see Ann Coulter retweeted me? She did, and she responded to one of my tweets. So good for Ann Coulter. This is who is this? Rowhouse. Thank you, Rowhouse. All right, let's take a look at Ann Coulter, who retweeted RAMZPAUL.
Why are you mad at Trump right now?
I think this war is a disaster.
It is a disaster.
Disaster. Utterly pointless. The three pillars of the Trump campaign, both in 2016 and 2020, that set him apart from every other Republican and every other Democrat. I mean, for the first time, this is the basket of issues I wanted to vote on. Number one, the wall, deport illegals, the whole immigration program. Number two, bring back manufacturing, the tariff stuff. I'm all in favor of that. Our working class in America has been absolutely wiped out. I don't think we need a lot of schlock from China. Why are we building them up?
I agree. I was for tariffs too. Now, I agree with the Supreme Court. It needs to go through Congress. The Constitution is pretty clear on that, but I support tariffs.
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with labor unions, but solve the problem of labor unions. Don't just outsource everything we make.
Labor unions, hello, this is 2026. It's not the 1970s anymore. Labor unions really don't exist except for the government, or they're not very powerful.
Either by bringing them here to work cheap, or by having it done over there. And the third pillar was no more pointless wars. And I think I'm in a good position to say this. There was no one more enthusiastic about both the Afghanistan and Iraq war when they began. It was, of course, right after 9/11, and the country didn't just have another 2 million illegals dumped on it. We weren't going through all of this transgender madness. We weren't quite as in hoc to China. So the country itself wasn't in nearly as much trouble. Oh my gosh, the crime right now. Think of the crime. The Democratic policy is just release criminals, release criminals.
Only if they're black.
Those are issues that have an effect on Americans. That's making America first, cleaning up that stuff. Waging pointless wars around the world and being the world's policeman. How many times do we have to vote on this? And I mean, Trump was attacked for the things he said in 2016. Remember, he said, Jeb's father lied us into war. And
looks like Trump lied us to war. Israel's imminent threat. Iran was an imminent threat.
The Wall Street Journal and New York Post assured us that that was going to kill him in South Carolina, biggest military state in the country. And that was in the South Carolina primary. And next day, primaries hold. Who wins? Huge majority. Donald Trump.
Yeah, because military people, they're willing to fight for America. Most of them aren't willing to fight and die for a foreign country, meaning Israel. Right? And that's just the way it is.
We have voted on this over and over and over again. So now what? We've already had how many? 7 Americans die, not to mention 166 school children in our name for a war that does not make one American safer.
Good. Yeah. Thank you, Rowhouse. That was a good, I didn't see that. I saw that Ann Coulter did put that out. I didn't watch it, but yeah, Ann retweeted me and she commented on my tweet. She liked it. So thank you, Ann. I appreciate that. That was it. All right. And now we'll get into the show now. We're 53 minutes in and we're getting into the show. See, I'm just like full of content. And I want to thank my producer, Bobby. He's my imaginary friend. I have all these imaginary producers and everything. So that's what I need. I need an imaginary team that I can have, and they can tell me how great I am. Then I can sexually harass, and I can have like a drug and alcohol arc. This is what all the streamers do. So all the cool kids do that. You may have to go into rehab. So I don't have that. So, but that's okay. All right. Israel Air Force with approval from the U.S. This is kind of doubtful because they're kind of Trump. There's been a lot of articles that Trump's pissed about this. just bomb Iran's South Pars field, the largest gas resource, responsible for 75% of the natural gas production. And the whole thing is Iran always said, okay, if you fuck with that, we're going to fuck with your oil, Kuwait, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, because you guys support America. You have the bases there, and America is the bitch of Israel, and you're attacking our stuff. So we're going to fuck you up if you attack our oil facilities. And guess what? They have the ability to fuck us up. Our patriots aren't doing shit for defense. And Donald Trump lied. They have lots of missiles, and they're continuing to fire them. They got sophisticated missiles. And the proof's in the pudding. All these refineries on their oil now. What do you say about that, fucking Donald Trump? So that is what's happening here. So this all started. Israel decided to attack an energy facility, and Israel didn't get the memo that they had been defeated, and they didn't have a military anymore. So this is Iran ignited a massive fire at UAE's, I'm not going to pronounce this, port in retaliatory strikes following the U.S. airstrikes on Iran's Karg Island. And here it is. So where were our Patriot missiles to prevent this, right? Now, they're gone. They're gone. They don't work. And but the Arab states are like, wait a minute. The reason we have you in here is because you said you would protect us, Israel. And so it's just really going crazy now. Now so I guess the UAE is no longer producing gas. It is just crazy. And Trump is not happy. Supposedly he's going to get in a fight with Netanyahu. Yeah, let's see you do that, Trump, you fucking little bitch. You're scared of Netanyahu. But anyway, Netanyahu and Trump is like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this anymore. Trump wants no more strikes on Iranian energy sites. Stop that. Stop attacking their energy sites. Come on, Israel, please stop it. So that's what he's reduced to. And Israel's like, yeah, fuck you. We'll do what we want. Art the Clown. Did you see Trader Trump is going to ban cameras when our dead come home and make them secret so we don't know how many died? I hate his guts. Yeah, I saw that. That shows you how well the war is going on. We don't want any cameras showing the dead coming back. Yeah, I did see that. I wasn't surprised. And, but that's where Trump is. All right. Let's see here. Some more. All right. Middle East tensions are spiraling. Israel struck Iran's South Pars gas field. It's the world's largest natural gas field. Thank you, Israel. Thank you, God's chosen. Thank you for fucking up the world. Thank you. Just jumped 108 a barrel. It's going up. I mean, we could all be fucked on everything could be so expensive now because of God's chosen. Israel warned that it would destroy all bridges on Lebanon's. Yeah, they also invaded Lebanon during this thing because, hey, you know, we genocide the people in Gaza. Let's fuck up the people in Lebanon because, you know, we're just so good people. And so the Iranians are doing it. So this is it. I think this is a fire at the Iranian oil field. This is Israelis. It attacked the Iranian natural gas field. And the Iranians said, we told you not to do that. We told you don't fuck with us, but you did it anyway. So now Trump's saying, stop it. And so that's what's happening there. Let me just show you some more of what Iran's response is. Iran is about to blow off all the energy facilities in the Gulf. I mean, they're playing for real because why not? I mean, we've killing their leaders. We killed their religious leaders. We killed their school children. They're like, hey, we don't have anything to lose. And we're just going to fuck everything up if you keep fucking with us. Iran has issued evacuation orders for all energy facilities in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE. That's you can say how evil the Iranians are, and I don't want Muslims in our country, but Israel would never give a warning to save civilian lives. They don't give a shit about that. But the Iranians actually gave warnings so these countries could, evacuate it before it was hit. And they followed through. They followed through, Iran, and they blew up those facilities. Thanks, Israel. Okay, so that's where we are right now. And supposedly Iran doesn't have any leadership now. That's what Donald Trump told us. But somehow other countries are able to interview the leadership that doesn't exist. I don't know how that happens, but here we go.
The Americans were drawn into this war by Israel.
Well, yeah, duh.
Or more precisely, by Netanyahu himself. And I think they themselves do not even know what their ultimate...
Right. And again, this isn't about Jews in general. There's some Jews like Bernie Sanders, Dave Smith that are opposed to this war. But you have these fucking nuts that they want to have greater Israel. They want to bring back what would be the Antichrist. It's just fucking insane. And Christian Zionists are in this camp too. And so it's a weird religious war, end times type of war.
Objective is. Every day they talk about something different. Once about regime change, once about dividing Iran, once about the collapse of the government, and once about unconditional surrender. All this was based on a miscalculation, and now they have realized that because of it, they have found themselves in a difficult situation. Those who were demanding unconditional surrender from us are now forced to seek help.
Yeah, because Trump is such an idiot. He demanded unconditional surrender. And that means no dealing, just you have no conditions. We can do whatever we want. And now Trump, through Witkoff and Kushner, they're trying to get a deal with Iran because Trump wants to stop. And Iran's like, yeah, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. We dealt with you. You double-crossed us. Yeah, fuck off. And that's Iran's position right now.
Even from their own adversaries, to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, inviting other countries and saying, please help. In my opinion, the United States started this war and must also acknowledge that it made a mistake and put an end to its aggression.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. They don't sound that insane to me. That sounds like pretty reasonable statement. So Iran, they understand Israel drew us into the war. And the oil prices is going to be a huge thing here. And it's already gone up. Brent crude. That's those damn limey English in the North Sea. Prices surged to 110 a barrel. Our West Texas sweet oil is about 97 after Israel strikes Iran's largest gas plant. And it's gone up. And it's causing a lot of problems with the world economy. I went to the oil site and they said $200, $250 a barrel now may happen. It can only go up so high. It can't go up forever because then you get demand destruction, which isn't good. Demand destruction means airlines don't fly anymore, factories don't operate anymore. And when that happens, there's less demand for oil, so the price will go down. But that's not good. And that's what could happen. So there is a limit. It won't go up forever. I mean, by the time it gets 200 a barrel, you'll start to see airlines stop to operate, factories stop operating. So I think there's a limit how high it can really go, if that's the good news. Thanks, Israel. Yeah, that is what we are here. All right, let's see what All-Stars are doing here. God's All-Stars, their strategy for the war is to assassinate people. Israel Defense Minister Katz, where's Netanyahu? Is he dead? I don't know. Significant surprises are expected today across all fronts that will escalate the war to a new level. I guess their surprise was attacking energy facilities, even though the Americans didn't want it. Thank you, best little ally. And we have authorized IDF to murder any Iranian official once the target circle has closed on them without need for additional approval. All right. Well, all I have to say, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? Right? So if you, I mean, it's all fun massacring people and murdering people, the leaders, but that could go both ways. That could go both ways. So there'd be a lot of ovaying if it goes the other way, though. I tell you that right now. So that has happened. Let's see here. This was kind of funny about the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz, we don't need help. We need help. Remember, because Trump said we need help from NATO and Japan and Australia. And then these countries told us to fuck off. And then we're like, why aren't these folks helping? And then Trump lied, said, help's on the way. And then he said, well, I'm not telling you who's helping. And then he said, help's not actually on the way, but we don't need it anyway. We just may abandon it and leave to everyone else. I wonder what would happen if we just finished off what's left of the Iranian terrorist state. I guess, are you talking nuclear weapons, Trump? I have no idea. He's just totally crazy now. Maybe Laura Loomer told him this before he went to bed. And let the countries that use it. Why do you fucking capitalize random stuff, you fucking boomer? We don't be responsible for so-called straight. That would get some of our non-responsive, quote, allies in gear and fast. Yeah, good job. Good job, Trump, right? You've done everything you can over the time you've been in office to piss off our allies, dumping tariffs on them, insulting them, and then you want them to help us. And then when they don't help us, you're like, well, fuck you. You're a bunch of pussies. We don't need you anyway. Good job, Trump. All right. And then this is... Add more bad news. Let's just let the bad news come. Inflation's up. U.S. core PPI came in higher than expected. So because of this, there wasn't a rate cut. They expected 3.7% inflation. It's actually 3.9%. So inflation is heating up. It's going to heat up a lot more because of the oil situation. And thanks, God's All Stars. So, yeah, that is what is happening there. And this already having an impact. Here's Delta Airlines. Airline fuel is very expensive now, and that's going to be passed on to the consumer for higher plane ticket prices. Just in, flight prices are set to hike after Delta CEO says surge in jet fuel prices has increased the airline's cost as much as $400 million in March alone. That's besides labor, the next highest cost for airlines. I used to help support the airline industry is fuel. And so they're getting screwed because of this war. And this is going to hurt the airline industry. You're going to see a lot higher prices now flying. And I don't see an out of this here. So that's what we are doing. All right, getting back to Joe Kent. Someone asked Trump about it. This is classic.
Joe Kent, he just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you?
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security.
What? Trump is saying, I always thought Joe Kent was weak on security. He was always weak on national security. So that's why I appointed him to the counterterrorism task force, a leader. What are you saying, Trump? So if you believe Trump, he's derelict in his duty. He appointed someone he knew was weak. Based on that alone, he could be impeached too. I mean, there's a whole fucking list of reasons he could be impeached right now. But here's one. If you take him by his word, he always knew this guy was weak on national security. And Trump wants us to believe, yeah, that's the man I want to lead national security.
I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is whether or not they wanted to do something about it. And many people, many of the greatest military scholars are saying for years that president should have taken out Iran because they wanted a nuclear weapon. They were, if we didn't do the attack, or if I'll go a step further, if I didn't terminate the Iran nuclear deal given to us, one of the worst deals ever made by Barack Hussein Obama. Remember when they said
This was the deal where they were nuclear inspectors to make sure Iran wouldn't develop a bomb, and it was working. And Trump tore it up because his best little allies, God's chosen, didn't like it.
Boeing 757s over there loaded with cash?
Mr. President, your director.
So anyway, Trump's official position is he always knew Joe Kent was weak on national security, yet he nominated him. That's his position. So, okay, Trump, I'll believe you then, and you don't know what you're doing. Let's see here. This is this was from Oman, I think, the negotiators. Diplomats from Iranian U.S. talks confirmed that Witkoff and Kushner were Israeli assets, The Guardian. So this is a UK paper. One Gulf diplomat with knowledge of the talk said, we regarded Witkoff and Kushner as Israeli assets. Well, that's their ethnic homeland. That dragged the president to the war he wants to get out of. Yeah, no kidding. Why did Iran believe these people? I have no idea. So, all right, I'm going to be right back, guys, just a second. Yeah, so I don't know why Iran would agree to even do negotiations with a couple of people that where their ethnic homeland is with Israel. I mean, really? Must we go through this? Well, they're deceitful. Whoa, who could have seen that coming? Whoa, really? I would have never saw that coming. I mean, Stevie Wonder could have saw that coming. So, yeah. So the diplomats, I guess, were saying that Kushner and Witkoff weren't really honest with everything. All right. And Israel is got pounded last night, too. Let me just show you a little bit of this. And they're attacked, I guess, the Iranians, the train system in Iran. Israel media, the past night was the most difficult Israel has ever experienced. And they wiped out like the train system or the tracks. So, mind you, President Trump has told the American people the war has been won. 100% of Iranian military has been wiped out. And after that, Iran did a massive attack on Israel. Where's the Patriot missiles? Huh? Are they not working, or we're out of them? Are they piece of shit? What's happening here? And Trump, how's this happening? If they're 100%, not 99%, 100%, that means everything. So what are you talking about? What are we talking about here? What are we doing here? Seriously, what's going on here? So that is it. And then the other thing, remember, I wiped out their Navy because we sunk an old frigate that was unarmed from the Shah days. This is an old British frigate. But I guess someone forgot to tell the Iranians because the Iranians have all these really small speedboats that have rocket launchers and so forth. 2 Iranian speedboats hit another tanker today in the Strait of Hormuz. The tanker was reportedly trying to cross without Iranian permission. So they are effective. They're not allowing any tankers to go through. And yeah, we don't know what to do about it. So supposedly their Navy was wiped out, but their Navy that is wiped out is effectively closing the Strait of Hormuz. So I don't know. I mean, if nothing else, I would just love a government just be straight with us, right? Not just doing all these lies, but I guess that's too much to ask. That's too much to ask here. All right, let me go through here. Thank you guys all for being here. I think I had another rant from Rowhouse or someone else. Let me see. Rowhouse, yeah. Rams need a reaction to this video. The playbook repeats itself. All right. I always, this guy just looks like a vampire. I always hate to look at him.
We are now in the middle of a war.
Yeah.
In the Middle East,
Yeah.
in Iran specifically.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of debate among politicians, among the public here in the U.S., among some very influential voices, by the way, in the Republican Party, including people like Tucker Carlson and others, who have suggested that we have been pulled, the U.S. has been pulled into this war by Israel.
Well, it wasn't just Tucker Carlson. It was Marco Rubio said that. Donald Trump said that. Mike Johnson said that. Joe Kent, the head of the National Intelligence, said that. All right, so let's not act like it's some wacky conspiracy theory. Alex Jones, RAMZPAUL going crazy. Yeah, obviously it was Israel.
And there is a view among some that unto itself creates these other questions about anti-Semitism and this sort of interconnection between those who have problems with Israel and those who have problem with Jews.
Well, Israel's a Jewish ethno-state, and this Greenblatt is and he supports his ethno-state, right? He thinks his people have a right to an ethno-state. We don't. If we try to have a country for our people and protect it, we're evil Nazis, but he gets one. And we have to support his ethno-state, no matter what they do. Otherwise, we're anti-Semites. We're Nazis. We're bigots. All right. And we're supposed to go, oh, no, we're not. That's the whole deal here.
So this is a good opportunity to talk about anti-Semitism, right? Some might call it, they call it the oldest hatred. Some might call it the oldest conspiracy theory. It's been around for thousands of years, and it's typically involved scapegoating and blaming a small group of people for things that are going wrong.
Well, this is so bizarre. It's like we do nothing wrong. We do nothing. People just irrationally hate us for no reason. It's like, really? Well, maybe people are upset because you've committed genocide in Gaza. Maybe they're upset that your AIPAC is controlling our politicians and got us in a war with Iran that had no business. We don't really care about. Maybe people are pissed off that you're trying to fucking censor us and you think you have a right to get rid of our First Amendment. Maybe people are pissed off that you think they can flood our nations with the third world, but not your fucking ethno-state. Maybe I'm just spitballing it. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe it's not just irrational. Not for any reason, just irrational hatred. Maybe there's a reason for it.
This has been happening for ages and ages. And one of those...
We're a victim for ages. It's like my friend. He's got kicked out of 109 bars in Fayetteville, but he didn't do nothing wrong. They just all hate him. They just all hate him for no reason. Just because he's so good is why they kick him out.
Age-old tropes is that Jews aren't loyal to the country where they live. Remember, they've lived as minority in exile for thousands of years. And that not only they're not loyal, they cause the world's wars, right? Again, this is an age-old trope that the Jews caused World War I, that the Jews caused World War
Wow.
II, and the Jews caused the Gulf War. And now we're seeing people like Tucker Carlson make this claim. Now, look, Tucker Carlson is probably the most prominent public bigot in our lives today. Like, look, he has platformed Holocaust deniers.
Oh no, our religious belief.
He's platformed virulent anti-Semites. He's engaged in this kind of rhetoric for a long time. So it shouldn't be surprised that he goes there. But I think, to be honest with you, there's a reasonable debate to have about this war. There's a reasonable debate to have, like, how's it being prosecuted? Do we understand what the objectives are, et cetera? But it's unreasonable to suggest that President Trump is being manipulated by a small group of people.
They would never do that. They would never do that. So, okay, you can, and this is how they're going to do it, right? Because I guarantee you, write this down, write it down right now. RAMZPAUL said, as this war goes bad, these pieces of shit are going to stab Trump in the back and say, well, Trump he didn't have a strategy. He was a fucking idiot. So I guarantee you they will. Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, all these people, right? So it's okay to be against the war, but don't ever assume that they had anything to do with it. Oh, that's a trope. A trope. It's a trope. So, yeah, right. It's a trope. Thomas Chard, interesting to note that Dems aren't protesting the 170. Oh, yeah, I went over that. Because the Democrats control that. Let me go down here. Necrodancer 555. The power of the funky dance is constant in the equation. I suggest you perform a funky dance. Honestly, it's a spiritual nuke. Please dance. I will. I think I will have to. I have a funky dance out there. I'll have to upload that. Maybe I'll do a funky dance. A Necrodancer raising money for funky dance. Golden psychic clearance. St. Michael, thank you. I will do a funky dance. Thank you. Necrodancer, $2. Thank you. Funky dance. Dance for white people. All right. All right. I typically, like when I'm out dancing, I do like the, I didn't know. I'm not a big fan of dancing. But I learn if you're like a white guy and you don't want to dance because you think it's kind of silly, you could do the fat guy dance. And all you do is you take your drink and you just kind of sway and then you call it good, right? That's all you have to do to dance. But I've done a good funky dance. I'll have to reload that. Maybe I'll do another one. I demand you dance. All-star status requires. Okay, I'll do a funky dance for you, Necro. You've been very generous, so thank you on that. Let's see. Dance. I recommend this thing. Oh, psychic power. Okay, I got you, Necro. Thank you. That was great. All right. So let's go through here. Funky dance fun. Thank you. I will do a funky dance. I will do a funky dance. I got to do that. I did one before, but maybe I'll do another one. I'll do another one. All right, let's see here. Do we have stuff on more about the war? Did the speedboats? All right, this is just some more stuff about this. I fear that Trump will try to escalate this. Uh-oh, where is it? Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I fear that Trump is going to try to escalate this because he's stuck. Because Iran, they're not giving in. And I don't know. This does look pretty bad here. So I don't know. We'll have to see here. Anyway, I think that's about it for tonight. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow. And hope you have a great day. And I will talk. Yeah, 2,500 Marines are writing their death letters right now. That is so crazy. Escalation ladder, just like Vietnam. All right, guys. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.